Hello everyone, this is Renata. I'm doing a video response for a young lady who left a comment on one of my videos asking a question about her relationship. So I will read some of her comment, and I think that's okay because she left it in the comment section. And I told her I would do a video response just so everyone could hear my response. So what she says is she wants to know some examples of some signs that a person may see if their friends or their significant other is in on their targeting. So she says that she's in a relationship and she thinks that her mate is starting to target her. And she says she feels that way because when she leaves the house, he asks her schedule for the day, for the entire day. And he wants to, and she says that's frequent that he does that. She also says that he either texts or he calls when she leaves the house just to see where she is. She said that she can say something like, I'm going to the store, and he'll still call her. And she says she thinks that he may be tracking her, like he may have some sort of device or something that's tracking her on her phone. Okay, so that's her question. She wants to know, she's kind of suspicious, thinking that her boyfriend isn't on the targeting. Now, I don't know whether they live together. She didn't go into any details like that. So I will give my response to that. First of all, relationships are difficult in themselves at times. They're going to have issues in relationships. You're going to argue. You're going to break up and make up and go through all of those things. But overall, a relationship should serve both people. You should have more good days than bad days in a relationship. Of course, things are going to happen. Nobody's perfect. There's going to be some misunderstandings, but those things should be talked about and worked out. So I jotted down some things that I think would be absolute deal breakers. Physical abuse. No one should put their hands on you. And that goes for males as well, because I do personally know more than one male who is abused by the female. So we probably more commonly hear of physically abusive relationships where the man is doing the physical abuse, but it happens where women also do it too, especially for men who do not believe in hitting a woman. Some women will take advantage of that, and they will become the aggressor and the physically abusive person. So physical abuse is not acceptable from a man putting his hands on a woman, and it's not acceptable for a woman to put her hands on a man. Absolute deal breaker. Even one time, deal breaker, because it will just get worse. Okay, so that's a deal breaker. Another deal breaker, and these are in no particular order, another deal breaker is mental abuse. If someone is putting you down, they're making you feel bad about yourself, all of a sudden your self-esteem is low, you don't feel good about yourself, you don't have anything to smile about or laugh about anymore, your personality has changed, you feel depressed around the person, you feel fear when you're around a person, that is mental abuse. And that's a deal breaker. Any type of controlling behavior, as the young lady described, the man is constantly asking her where she is. He wants her whole schedule for the day. I would consider that controlling behavior. It's one thing if you're leaving the house and someone says, oh, where are you going? Just casually, where are you going? You say, I'm going to the store. But they're calling you every 5 minutes. They want to know your every single move. I would consider that controlling behavior. Now, the thing with controlling behavior is that it will more than likely escalate to physical abuse. So that's something that you want to really pay attention to. And when a person starts saying things like, oh no, you can't go there, or you can't do this, those are all signs of controlling behavior. And that's one of the steps that leads up to physical abuse. So be very careful in situations like that. Lack of respect. Respect is crucial to a relationship. Respect could be something like they call you names, they curse at you, and not to say that people don't use profanity, because some people do use profanity, but it's one thing to use a profane word just in general, and it's another thing for a person to direct that profanity towards you, calling you the B word or the H word or whatever. Okay? So it's a difference between saying it in general and saying it to you. So that's a lack of respect. They don't respect you. Staying out all night. Some people stay out all night, either partying or with the boys or with the girls or whatever, and they'll give you an excuse. I was at my mother's house. I was at my sister's house. That's not acceptable. A person who does not honor your wishes. If you have said, I really wish that you would not do this, or I really wish you would not say that, or I really wish that you would start doing this, and you've had this conversation more than once, and they never honor your wishes, that could be a deal breaker. A person who does not stand up for you. Maybe one of their relatives don't care for you. Maybe their friends don't care for you. And they don't stand up for you. That's a lack of respect. Another deal breaker is drug addiction. If you're dealing with someone that's on drugs, that's a dead end. That person will steal from you. That person will lie to you. That person would be very difficult to be in a relationship with. Now, if you feel like you love that person enough to, try to stick through it with them, because maybe it's a prescription drug addiction, that they didn't intentionally get into, but that happens with people, especially people who have chronic pain, and you want to stick it out with them. You tell the person that they may need to go to rehab. If they don't do that, then that could possibly be a deal breaker. It's really hard to deal with people on drugs. And I would say the same for alcohol. It's one thing to be a casual drinker. It's another thing to be an alcoholic. And alcoholics can be extremely difficult to live with. Extremely. They can be mentally abusive, physically abusive, and all kinds of other things. And I think we have all come in contact with some true alcoholics. Not easy to deal with. Anyone who steals from you, that's definitely a deal breaker. Anyone who displays irresponsible behavior, they're just lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to pay bills. They are not motivated to do anything. They just want to use you. That's a deal breaker. A serial cheater. And the reason why I say serial cheater is because some people are forgiving. If someone cheats on you once, some people feel like they can work that out. They can work through that in a relationship. Maybe the person will never cheat again. But if the person is a serial cheater and it keeps happening over and over and over, even though they're saying, no, I'm not cheating, it's all in your mind. You're just a jealous person. That didn't happen. You don't have any proof, but you know in your heart that person keeps cheating on you. But you do have to make sure that, you have proof that the person's cheating, because sometimes it may not be true. But if the person is a serial cheater, man or woman, then it's probably time to get out of it. Anyone who forces you into sex, and this happens in relationships a lot. I'm sure everyone has heard about date rape, that kind of thing. You're probably doing some sort of, having some sort of affection or kissing or hugging or whatever, but you're not ready to go all the way, and the person does that anyway. Or even if you're married to a person and they force themselves upon you, because no means no. So if anyone is forcing you into sex, that's rape. No matter if you're in a relationship with them or not. And that's definitely, absolutely a deal breaker. Anyone who is in on your targeting, anyone, relationship, friends, family members, anyone who's in on your targeting, you got to get away from them. Those people can be very, very dangerous to you. Now, if you're in a relationship with them, you have to understand that there's a possibility that they could have been sent to you to date you. Or maybe you were already in a relationship with them. They could have possibly been contacted and turned on you. I don't know. It happens both ways. But I will tell you that perpetrators are absolutely sent at times to date targets. And sometimes they go so far as to marry the person, believe it or not. There's stories out there that I've heard where people have had children with people who they later realized were sent to them. They were perpetrators. There was a story in the San Francisco paper. If I can find it, I'll put it in the comment section. It was a while ago. But a young lady is suing the FBI because she had children with an FBI agent who was sent to watch her. And he infiltrated into her circle of friends, because I think she was an activist or something. And he started going to all the meetings, and he started to like her. And he formed a relationship with her, and her thinking that he's one of the friends, not knowing that he was sent there, she started dating him. And it went on for years. And she had children by him. And she was devastated. I can't remember how she found out that he was actually an FBI agent, but she was devastated. Absolutely devastated. And she said she was sick to her stomach when she realized that he was actually at the birth of her children. That's a very intimate moment. And he was there, and he was an agent all along. So don't think for 1 minute that these people don't send people to date you, because they do. They do. I hear it all the time with people who come to my calls. There was a lady recently who said that she knows that she's dating several perpetrators. And she says she knows it, but she's lonely, and that's what she chooses to do. And I could not believe, we really tried to tell her, but she says she knows. So that's a dangerous situation to be in, because these people are there to be your handler. And they mean you no good whatsoever. They are there to handle you. So if you really, truly in your heart believe that this person is a perpetrator, whether he was sent to you or whether he turned on you, you want to just really, really rethink that, because these people are being paid to date you. So that should be enough, just that thought right there, that you are a job for them or a project. That should be enough right there to make you not want to deal with that person. They're being paid to date you. They're being paid to lead you down the wrong path. They're being paid to get you strung out on drugs. They're being paid to set you up so you'll go to jail. They're being paid to gaslight you so that you end up in a mental institution somewhere. You don't want that. Nobody deserves that. You cannot be in denial. If you believe that someone is in on your targeting, you have got to take care of yourself. Relationships should be good and they should make you feel happy. Not to say that they're going to be good 100% of the time, because they are relationships and people have conflicts. But you should be able to communicate with your spouse, with your significant other, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, whoever you're in a relationship with. You should be able to communicate. If there are some issues, you should not be afraid to bring them up. You should be able to work them out. And if you can't, over a period of time, then that's a problem. Whatever attracted you to that person in the beginning, it should still be there. It shouldn't be too far removed. I know life happens and people change and circumstances and all of that. But whatever that attribute was that drew you to that person, it shouldn't be too far out of the picture. It should still be there. If that person made you happy, they should still be making you happy. And if they don't, then you work on that and you should be able to get back to that place. That person should be able to make an effort, or should be willing, I should say, to make an effort, and so should you. But if it comes at the point where the relationship becomes emotionally taxing and it's just draining you and making you feel depressed, then there's a problem. When you start to see consistent patterns that are negative, then you have to address that and rethink things. You know, it's okay to be alone if you have to be. Maybe you'll meet someone nice. I know it's really difficult. Relationships are very difficult when you're being targeted, because you don't know who you can trust. You don't know who's real. You know, who's really who they say they are, who's sent to you, who's not sent to you, if they're going to turn on you. It's confusing. But dealing with this targeting outside of relationships, that's already difficult. So to add to that stress is just too much. You know, so if you're feeling down and you're feeling depressed and, you know, this person is making you have all these negative emotions, it would make me think, if this is consistent, this is going on for a while, the average person would probably think that they're in on their targeting. But it's so tricky because you have to be sure, because these people don't want you to have a relationship. So you have to be sure. So nobody can really tell you. At the end of the day, you have to follow your instincts, because your instincts don't lie. And just remember that we teach people how to treat us by what we accept. So if you are accepting behavior that is less than what you deserve, then you're giving that person the okay to continue treating you that way. Okay, so I will just leave you with that thought, that we teach people how to treat us. And I hope this helps. God bless and stay strong, everybody.